Hello traders, Vladimir here from Home Trader Club. Welcome to our weekly Forex forecast. In today's video, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen and gold. But before the charts, I want to take the opportunity and to say big thanks to 8K Broker for supporting our community. You can continue and enjoy all the special offers we have together with 8K Broker, including the access to Home Trader Club, all the trading systems, the marketplace, and full and private mentoring sessions. Please refer to the link below this video in the description. Euro dollar would be our first one for this week, a follow-up on the previous week discussion. We were preparing the ground for a possible move in the range here before the euro managed to take the push to the upside. As you can see, it didn't manage to complete another leg down. It instantly breaks after this little pullback and making the highs. However, there are two scenarios that still remain relevant at that stage for the euro dollar due to the current technical conditions, and that's what I'm talking about. The bullish scenario is if the euro managed to, this is the key supply level, which is still holding. So if the euro managed to hold this bullish structure of the three higher highs, higher lows, managed to hold this key zone here at the beginning of the week and bounce up, then we can expect the euro to continue its rally, very possible towards the zone of the 117, maybe even higher than that. But there is also the bearish scenario, which is still relevant in that case on the euro dollar, and that's due to, I'll go to the weekly chart, due to the fact that on the weekly chart, after this Bollinger Band duplication and bounce off the weekly supply, the euro can still, or very possibly, capable of doing this first of all until it will complete a bullish hidden divergence. And in that case, we can see the euro dollar pushing down again towards the 111, 110, maybe even below that, down to 108. So there are, for the bullish scenario, we explained before, we want the euro to hold this key level from around 113.60 down to 113.20. If it managed to hold that and bounce, we can then look for the bullish continuation. On the other hand, if it breaks below the 113.60 down to 113.20 and this rising trend line, you can also see, I mark here, a key volume profile based zone. This is with our KTLI indicator, as you can see here, multi-time frame zone. Okay? It's not only the 4-hour chart, but look at that. It's also the daily key level and the weekly key level. So if the euro managed to break and hold below this zone, I would be looking to sell the rallies to again aim below 110 ideally. So that's how I see the euro dollar. And in terms of the numbers, let's take a look on the markets trend snapshot. We can clearly see on the euro dollar that the numbers are kind of flat here. The 1 month is around the 0%, the 7 days is 0.5% change, which is nothing. 24 hours is negative, so it's clearly in the waiting zone right now. And from my point of view, the next 1 to 3 weeks should be decisive and design the next move either to the upside towards the 117 or down to below 111, 110. The next few weeks should be critical for that. Our next one, pound dollar. A quick follow-up on the last week discussion. We wanted to see the ideal scenario for the pound pushing one more peak before sellers take their control. This peak is happening right now. And as we can see at the end of this candle, we are bouncing off the weekly, as you can see here, volume profile zone, key zone here. But also, the interesting part here is the candle structure. As you can see here, some sort of a evening star. At that point, there is a great probability that the peak is in creation. There are two scenarios for that. Similar to what we saw on the euro dollar, the pound dollar now is facing a beautiful supply area. Lots of sellers from here and here for a significant amount of time, and we are talking about the supply around the 135 up to 137 or 137.50, which means if this zone manages to hold this divergence we see here on the daily chart, while the market is making higher highs, MACD and RSI clearly hint for the lower highs, which means a bearish pressure starts to build up, and for that we need to prepare for a possible sell. The ideal scenario on the pound dollar, the following is, if it managed to break this low, we can expect to sell the rallies. For this one, we might see the pound trying to make another final push to complete another false breakout in this ongoing divergence, and from there look for this sell. And if we go to the lower time frame, this is what I would be looking on the pound dollar. From my point of view, this is a significant low here. We are breaking the trend line, but the low is still not broken. If the pound managed to do that in ongoing 3 waves, right, and then we actually could be looking for the further sell, at least on the shorter term. So similar to the euro dollar, the coming few weeks should be decisive, and we have significant lows. This one is on the shorter term we just saw, this one is on the mid-term. If it managed to break below them, we can then see the pound dollar as the bearish opportunity. If not, and if it managed to hold that, then the pound dollar can bounce upside, complete the final peak, which I expect, and yet I don't expect much at that case, simply because the way that the weekly chart is forming, I believe the peak is not far before the corrective movement begins to happen. And then on the longer run, yes, we can talk about the buys again, but on a short term, I believe the peak is not far, and we should see some corrections before further continuation upside. So in terms of numbers, let's go back to our market's trend snapshot on the pound dollar. Last 7 days are bullish, last month is still bullish, 7 day, 24 hours are flat, which again, similar to the euro dollar, hint that we are ahead of a decisive movement, I would say, and the next few weeks should design how the pound dollar is going to play. That's why we have clear plan for both scenarios, for the buy levels to hold and for the sell levels to trigger. That's how I see the pound dollar. Dollar yen, our next one. One of the scenarios we discussed in the previous week was that we might see the dollar yen moving inside triangle, inside some sort of a channel before the next sell take place, and it looks like the dollar yen is building this up. And if we could remember and consider the weekly chart, I do believe the dollar yen yet to complete the second corrective leg. On a short term though, the corrections are still in play, and there are 2 scenarios to follow from here. Scenario 1 is that this 4-hour chart will continue to develop as its own range, break below the range, break below the volume profile zone, and from there, once it triggers, and if it triggers, go all the way to below 140. On the other hand, if it managed to hold this zone, as you can see, it becomes a strong support area, which we cannot deny in that case, also this volume profile based balance zone. So if it managed to hold this area, the short-term bounces can lead for the final rally here until this, as you remember, daily range would be created. We have a peak here that could be retested. We have some zone here of these spikes and peak that could be retested before the next sell portion will be developed. So definitely decisive weeks once again are coming ahead of us, similar to what we saw on the euro and the pound. And in terms of the numbers, dollar yen is one of the leading ones here. It becomes bullish in the last month, 7 days and 24 hours price reaction, which makes sense that this corrective movement currently building up and happening is here to stay before the sellers will take the control after that, very likely. And that's the view for the dollar yen. And our final one, the gold. And quick reminder, last week we were talking about one of the scenarios, of course, was if we manage to get that range broken, right? And then we can expect that gold to complete the rally. This rally takes place and we are bouncing off a divergence, and we are now retesting the broken resistance line that now becomes a support line. And gold, similar to the euro pound, is now on decisive place. And here is why. We are on a strong support area. We are on a rising trend line area. We are on this volume profile area. So this becomes a key area to watch. I want to remind you, it's because it's, from my point of view, it's relevant and important here. On the higher time frame, we are bouncing off overbought conditions. It is a question of time until a significant move down will build up. Will that happen from here or after one final push? Both scenarios are very possible, but this is most likely due. This what should happen here at some point, and it might take weeks, yes, but the bearish pressure is significant here. We had over 20 candles right on the Bollinger Bands, and all it managed to redo after that is a retest the middle Bollinger Band, never yet the opposite band and below. And this was the last time it happened here. We all remember how strong the bearish reaction could be and should be. And it didn't happen yet. And that's what makes me think gold is eventually preparing the ground for a major sell. Biggest question is, will that happen now, or will we reverse for one final peak here and then the sell take place? So two scenarios on the gold. Scenario one, which is key one, the way I see that, we have a trend line here and we have this low. If the gold manages to place itself below the trend line and the key low here around the 3250 level and manage to hold there, we can talk about sell the rallies for the longer term, potentially going down below 3000. On the other hand, if it doesn't do that and it does hold the supportive line and the volume profile, then we should see the gold aiming again towards the 3500, maybe even beyond, to complete final peak before the trend changes and reverses to the downside. So gold, again, like other instruments, is in decisive moment, and I believe the next few weeks should define and design the next waves. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe to our channel if you are new to this channel. And I want to invite you to our trading family, the Home Trader Club. Get yourself full access to our comprehensive completed trading courses, real-time trading education and real-time trading opportunities. Join us with the link below this video in the description. Thanks again for watching. Best to you and yours. Good trading. I'll see you soon with more. Bye for now.